96.9 FM WAZZ. It is your buddy Big Jax here. Rockers, I've got to point something out to you. Let me get the microphone comfortable here for me so I can sit back here and you sit down in your rock and roll seat. Because we've been subject to misreputation here at the radio station. Rockers, I apologize on behalf of our sales staff who I feel undoubtedly knowing sold time here on the station to a client who owns a scooter store. And by listening to the commercials produced by the production staff here at WAZZ and airing here on WAZZ, maybe you've heard the commercial, Rowdy Rogers Thundercycles. We've been playing it here now for about 2 weeks on the radio station, and I decided to go down and take a look at some of the bikes and see some of the steel horses. As WAZZ would like you to believe, they provide illusions of heavy steel horses, motorcycles waiting on you down in the shop to sit your fancy in and maybe ride off into the sun for next biker festival. Now, however, don't let the fancy audio ripped off sound effects confuse you to be that of a thundering Harley or a Suzuki. Don't let it fool you, rocker. This is nothing you want to be seen on the streets of Main Street in Daytona Bike Week. If you take a moment to view their online posted ad on our website, you will see this to be nothing more than a shop full of mopeds and scooters. For example, rocker, the Mototech 24-volt electric moped compatible with a side mount surfboard rack, as you see here. Now, rocker, let's take a listen to the commercial here, and I want you to look at the photographs and the sound. They don't match up.
Ride off into the sunset on your next motorcycle from Rowdy Rogers, where things get rowdy with this new cruiser. You'll be the envy of the town when you show up on this new Iron Horse. Take this to your next biker meeting, and you are sure to get all the babes. Check out this Deluxe Speed package with chrome handlebars, leather seat, storage rack, and a free pair of riding gloves to fit your style.
I feel like we're being misled here. Now, because I knew I had to get all of the sales staff together rather than rounding them up one by one and pointing the finger at whoever was behind this terrible idea to confuse rockers about this moped and scooter store and putting big dog sound effects behind it to be that of a Harley, I knew I had to do what was right here and set the right example, so I lied to them, and I told the sales staff by sending them a group email and asking them if they had heard about the important meeting from management providing free muffins and coffee along with a $200 appreciation bonus to the first two that showed up for the meeting in the conference room 2 hours before they normally start rolling around up in this place. So I showed up, and I pretended to be just as shocked and surprised as they were to find no muffins, coffee, or money, or management in the conference room. While we were all standing there, rocker, I thought this would be a great time to bring it up. Since I had them all together, I asked them who was behind Rowdy Rogers' Thundercycles commercial, and they all giggled and laughed. And no one confessed. I informed them that this was unacceptable and a big misrepresentation on behalf of the entire sales staff, and that this was an insult to the fullest to all of us bikers and rockers. Cruel advertising to the listeners, and that they should repent and remove all ads from the air, or at least change the sound effects, and maybe suggesting to the client he needs to maybe reconsider a new business name, change it from Rowdy Rogers Thundercycles to maybe just Rainbow Rogers Kickstand. And I also invited them into the studio in just a few hours here to apologize to you rockers and bikers out there. But yeah, that was pushing it. And just as I said, apologize and remove from the air and suggest anything to the client, well, sales manager Jill looked like she was about to have a spell. She looked like she got a little disoriented and lightheaded, and she had to sit down. So no apologies. I don't believe no gallon any apologies from the sales staff. Yeah. But I left them with the thought that they cannot be trusted. At which time they all laughed and continued discussing and down-talking all of management for the early morning fake meeting. They said that they felt misled, unappreciated, misinformed, and this was unacceptable. As they started making their way out of the conference room back to the sales department down the hall, that drabby, dark side of the building with no windows, I heard one of the sales girls mumble under her breath walking down the hall, "She might as well start working since she's already here." Rocker, I can only hope that they learn something from this. So, Rocker, if you're out looking for a bike and you hear the commercial here on WAZZ about Rowdy Rogers' Thundercycles, maybe you need to look somewhere else, because it was a total waste of trip for me, because all they have down there in the shop is a bunch of mopeds and scooters. That ain't nothing you want to be seen on at your next bike festival. Unless, of course, that's your budget, maybe, that you gotta start out, or maybe something a little smaller and maybe not so ferocious between your legs. Maybe a scooter or a moped, and I even think they had some mountain bicycles in there. But I guess we all gotta start somewhere. 96.9 FM, WAZZ, where it's a rockin' good time.